I want to quickly talk to you about Wells Fargo business loan alternatives for a fair credit. And the thing is that if you have fair credit, Wells Fargo can actually be complicated when it comes to approving some business loans. So in today's conversation, I want to give you a few alternatives so that you know that you have options. Okay, if you have fair credit, you have possibilities out there outside Wells Fargo, and this is actually applicable to you if you're a current Wells Fargo customer, or you let's say you are trying to become a Wells Fargo customer and you're just trying to really find out what's available out there for business loans. So here are the top loan alternatives I want to share with you. The first big alternative is TD Bank. A lot of folks don't talk about TD Bank that much, and that's really it's one of the most underrated institutions out there. And TD Bank is a great Wells Fargo business loan alternative for you to consider if you have fair credit. Why? Two things. Number one, they will give you a maximum loan amount of $1 million. That's a lot of cash. Okay, you can do a lot of things with that. So that's $1 million. And number two, they will consider even bad credit. Okay, that's really good. TD Bank will even consider bad credit. The only thing with TD Bank is that it doesn't have the geographic footprint that Wells Fargo has. I mean, TD Bank is actually in about 10 to 15 states, usually around the Northeast and also in the South, in Florida. Okay, but it's not a national player as Wells Fargo. But the cool thing about TD Bank is that it does offer a variety of business loan options. It's actually an SBA preferred lender, and you can actually apply online for loans under $250,000. So if you want to apply for a loan over $250,000, then you have to go to a branch. Okay, so you have the possibility to apply for a loan for $250,000 loan online. Only thing is that just remember that TD Bank does not disclose much info prior to submitting an application, and they don't have actually a soft pull process. So there is no way for you to pre-qualify, okay, before going through the whole process. So, but it's a great alternative to Wells Fargo for business loans for fair credit. Another Wells Fargo fair credit business loan alternative I want to share with you is actually Bank of America. And Bank of America is really the quintessential alternative to Wells Fargo. Why? Because number one, it is a national bank. So Bank of America is one of the top four banks in this country. You have Wells Fargo, you have Citi, you have Bank of America, and you have Chase, right? So the cool thing about the Bank of America is that it really gives you a maximum loan amount, and that's the second thing. It gives you a maximum loan amount, business loan amount of $10 million. That way beyond the 1 million that TD Bank is giving you. Can you imagine that? $10 million. Okay. Now, chances are, if you have fair credit, you might not really qualify for 10 million unless you have a strong financial. You have like your company has strong financials. But primarily, Bank of America will consider any FICO score around 550 or 600 minimum. Okay, so that's kind of cool. If you have fair credit, chances are you could qualify. Okay, but the loan amount goes from 10,000 all the way to $10 million, and it has to be repaid over 12 to 60 months. So 1 year to 5 years. Okay, now chances are, and let's be honest here, if you have fair credit, you're not going to get You're not going to get 10 million. Okay, unless once again you have strong financials. And the APR actually with Bank of America is it's pretty interesting. I mean, it starts at about 8%, 8.5%. So, and it can go all the way to 18%, but it's still good anyway. Okay, you're not getting those crazy high interest rates that you sometimes have with alternative lenders. Okay, so and also Bank of America is really known for fast funding, so that's really good. So you do have a free business credit score monitoring service. Okay, that's an important element to think about. So basically, with Wells Fargo, with Bank of America, the cool thing is that you are able to monitor your credit score as you go along. So this is really good. Okay, and there is no collateral needed also. And also, if you're a bank customer, you can apply online. So this is really fantastic. You have the possibility to apply online and to get things done properly. So this is really good. The only thing is that Bank of America is a little strict because they want you to be in business for 2 years before you apply. Okay, and there is also a $150 origination fee. So just think about that. If you're looking for a Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative, I want you to also think about American Express. Now, don't get me wrong, American Express is not your traditional bank because they don't have like brick and mortar branches. Now I understand that, right? It's not really your traditional bank, but it actually will give you a maximum loan amount of $250,000. Okay, American Express doesn't have a brick and mortar branches. There are no physical branches. This is a more online bank, okay, that you have. So that's something to really think about. And so if you are looking for a Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative, think about American Express. And American Express actually favors those who already have a relationship with the institution. So if you already have a business credit, let's say you have a relationship with American Express, either as a business account or business credit card, or even personal credit card for that matter, try try American Express. The maximum you are going to get with American Express goes from, I mean, maximum is $250,000. So the range is actually 2,000 all the way to $250,000. Okay, and American Express actually gives a business line of credit. Sometimes they can actually they can convert it, if you will, into a business loan. So you just have to really talk to talk to them about your needs. So this is kind of cool. Now, one thing I want to say is that they do have a fair monthly average revenue requirements, no origination or early repayment fees, and it's also available across the US. Okay, something to really think about. But on the flip side, the thing about the American Express is that if you're looking for it as a Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative, you got to really be in the right industry. Why? Because this this funding program is only available to established businesses in certain industries. So not all industries qualify. Okay? This is something to really understand. And also, they do charge you some fees, and those fees can be a little complicated. Can make it a little complicated for you to know exactly what you like, how American Express compares to others. If you're looking for a Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative, I want you to think about BlueVine also. So BlueVine is another possibility to really understand. And the reason why I'm saying that is that basically you have a flexibility with BlueVine. And BlueVine is kind of similar to American Express, even though BlueVine is a little less known than American Express. But when I want to say that BlueVine is actually an online bank. This started as a fintech a couple of years ago, like 10 or 15 years ago, and now they're just trying to really branch into actual banking. Okay. That's kind of cool. Why do I say that? Because basically, you have a bank, you can open a business bank account at BlueVine, and you can really parlay that relationship you have with them to get a business loan or a business line of credit. Okay. And the cool thing is that they're really fast too. They're really fast. They have a similar funding model to the one that American Express has. So basically, you can get cash within 24 hours. You can use the money to build credit, and you have a maximum loan amount of $250,000. Okay. On top of that, with BlueVine, the cool thing is that you have a minimum credit score requirement. So even if you have fair credit, you can still qualify. You can still qualify. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that if you have fair credit and you don't like, for any reason, you don't like Wells Fargo, or you want to try something else, BlueVine can really help you. BlueVine can really answer that question, that call. I mean, BlueVine can really answer that call, and they can answer that call favorably for you. Okay. The only thing is with BlueVine, you might need to make weekly payments. So if you have a problem with making weekly payments, then BlueVine is not for you. Also, if you are in North Dakota, South Dakota, or Nevada, this is not really the lender for you because they do not operate in those three states. At least as of the date of this show, they don't have a banking license in those three states. Okay, so it is a bummer, but it is what it is. And also, make sure that you have no bankruptcies in the past year, because otherwise BlueVine is not going to accept you. And they want minimum annual revenue of $120,000. So that's about 10 grand a month. Okay, 10 grand a month. So another Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative is actually from Wells Fargo itself. So if you're looking for a Wells Fargo business loan and for some reason you were not approved, or you just changed your mind, you just want to try something else, you want to really go to Wells Fargo and try their business line of credit. The reason is that their business line of credit is relatively easier to get approved for than a business loan. But having said that, the maximum loan amount on the business line of credit is actually $150,000. So they don't give you like 10 million as you could potentially get with a business loan. You will get a smaller funding amount, $150,000. Now I say it's small because if you look at the size of Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo, a multi-billion-dollar bank, and they're giving you $150,000. You know it's small. But my point is what? My point is that you have possibilities. You have options, okay? So $150,000, minimum credit score, 600 to 680. The APR is kind of decent too. They're charging you like 9 to 17%. So you do have room to actually to get a decent APR. Like if you get 10%, you're good, right? If you get 12%, you're good anyway. I mean, that's really fantastic. So the bank line of credit has competitive interest rates. You have a revolving credit line with no scheduled annual review, and this business line of credit is actually unsecured. So there is no collateral required, and there are also no prepayment penalties. So you have a lot of flexibility once again. So this line of credit actually gives you some kind of working capital. Okay, so you have the possibility to use the cash the way you see fit to actually to really push forward your business activities. Okay, so this is kind of cool. But just remember that the minimum time in business is actually 24 months. So if you are a brand new company, if you are a startup, you're not going to qualify for this Wells Fargo business line of credit. So just be aware of that. So I just share with you the top five Wells Fargo fair credit business loan alternatives. Okay, let me give you a few generalities here. If you have a fair credit and for any reason you do not want to really go to Wells Fargo, or you can't go to Wells Fargo to actually get a loan, and you're looking for a top alternative, it's important to understand that there are different types of small business loans depending on your vision, your needs, especially if you have fair credit. Okay, so you got to really ask yourself, why do you need the money in the first place? Is it for expansion? Is it for inventory? Is it for payroll? What is it for? Why you need the cash? Okay, and how fast you need access to the cash? You need it like right away, 24 hours, 48 hours? Because see, the thing is, if you need the cash, sorry about that. If you need the cash real fast, sorry about that. If you need the cash real fast, you got to understand that there is a possibility. There is something to do actually. Okay, so how fast you need the capital? If you need the cash within 24 hours, it's just better to go to an alternative lender. You also got to think about how much capital you need, because some lenders are more generous than others. Okay, so make sure that you have the right lender. You also got to think about your business's qualifications and the total cost of debt. Total cost of debt means what? It means the APR the lender is charging you. Okay, one. So when I say the types of small business loans, you got to think about SBA loans. You got to think about business term loans, business lines of credit, equipment financing, micro loans. So one thing for sure, if you look for a Wells Fargo fair credit business loan alternative, a micro loan could be um, a micro loan could be interesting to you if you're looking for, let's say, anything less than $50,000. So if you're looking for a smaller loan amount, go for micro loans. And here, the loan amounts are 50 grand, and the APR is about 8% to 30%. Nothing really major though. Okay, So these types of loans are great for smaller business investments. If you want to cover day-to-day expenses like petty cash, for instance, if you want to really cover working capital, so you can think about a macro loan. And so that's for smaller investments. And the opposite is for equipment financing. So let's say you want to really finance a business vehicle. You want to fund a business vehicle or something, like you want to buy company assets, for instance. Think about equipment financing, okay? So you can get an equipment loan equal to 100%, okay, of the value of the equipment you're looking to purchase, depending on the lender and your business's qualifications, okay, which you then pay back over time with interest, of course. So let me give you a few additional business funding options. You need to understand that if you're looking for a Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative, and for some reason, all the five banks I gave you, you're not really interested, you can still think about small business grants. You can think about business credit cards. You can think about personal loans. I just finished a video about personal loans you can use for business purposes. So that's kind of cool. So personal loans, now personal loans, you might not get a lot of cash. Like the maximum I've seen is $100,000, and only a few lenders will give you $100,000 on the personal side of things. Like personal side of things, you have a SoFi, you have Wells Fargo, you have Lightstream, you also have Consumers Credit Union (CCU). Okay, those are the top four providers I can think of on top of my mind right now. You also have invoice factoring. So if you want fast cash, think about invoice factoring. Think about merchant cash advances too. So that's really important. Just remember though, if you whether you go to Wells Fargo or you go to another lender, you always need to make sure you have a great credit score, right? I mean, great. You need to have a decent credit score. So if you're looking for a fair credit business loan, make sure you have a decent credit score because they're going to ask for your time in business. They're going to ask you for your personal credit score. They'll also ask for the business finances, like the business's balance sheets, cash flow statements, P&L, and also the statement of owner's equity, the four financial statements. So if you want to really get a Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan alternative, make sure that you understand the terms and conditions of the loan and decide which loan option is right for your specific needs. Because every need is different. Every business needs is different. Okay, so this is important. And once again, don't forget that you might have to provide extra paperwork, like your business licenses. Okay, and also a business plan. Also, you might have to provide a business plan in some cases, and also you might need to provide also to the bank legal contracts and agreements. So just be aware of that. So in today's conversation, here's a quote. In today's conversation, I'll share with you Wells Fargo Fair Credit Business Loan Alternatives. I gave you the top loan alternatives: TD Bank, Bank of America, American Express, BlueVine, and Wells Fargo. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.